Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. This article comes to you guys from Mobile World Life. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So it looks like T-Mobile is in trouble once again with the national advertising division. I've said this before. I've said this before in a video. I was even trying to figure out where the 20% discount came into play. Before, when T-Mobile had taxes and fees included, that 20% went over better, right? It was like, okay, this is, yeah, you got it, right? You got the 20%, we get it, taxes and fees not included. But now that's no longer the case. T-Mobile now doesn't include taxes and fees. So now you're paying taxes and you're paying fees, right? Telco recovery fees like $4 a line, and then whatever percentage of taxes are in your state. So it varies by state. So the 20% claim is misleading, says the National Advertising Division. A National Advertising Review Board recommended T-Mobile US stop making certain saving claims about its mobile plans after rival Verizon filed a complaint. Independent nonprofit BBB National Programs National Advertising Division determined T-Mobile's claim customers could save 20% by switching from Verizon is misleading, and T-Mobile's being asked to stop it altogether. I think in the 11th hour now that T-Mobile is appealing this decision, they're trying to make up stuff. They're trying to say now that on the Experience Beyond, with all the perks included, you save 20%. It's misleading. It is just misleading. T-Mobile will have to acknowledge that, and they will have to fix it. When you see the 20% on the commercial, it doesn't say that you save that 20% because those perks are included. It just says you save 20% versus the other guys. So when you see that, you're thinking I'm saving 20% versus an equivalent plan to Verizon or AT&T, which is simply today not the case. If you look at the pricing, it's very, very similar, if not the same, if not more, depending on which plan you choose. And then you add the taxes and fees on top of that. So the 20% is very misleading. I questioned that before in a different video, and I'm questioning it here again in this video. I don't know where that 20% comes from. The perks, Hulu, Netflix, Apple TV, right, in-flight Wi-Fi, all of that brings value to the price point, but it's no excuse on saying that you're 20% cheaper because of it. Right, so T-Mobile is challenging the finding, as you can see here, and stated it modified the savings declaration to explicitly reference streaming services in the claims themselves, and modified its disclosure for the saving claims. NAD explained. The advertising board determined, despite the focus on streaming services, one T-Mobile message continues to tell consumers they would save 20% by switching from Verizon to T-Mobile through plan savings alone. I haven't seen that specific commercial targeting Verizon directly, but I have seen the commercials where they say you can save 20% versus the other guys. And I'm sure you guys have seen that one too. And when you're saying the other guys, you also reference AT&T. You're referencing AT&T and Verizon. So the NAD found that consumers are not likely to expect the value of ancillary benefits to be included in the savings comparison, right? So the consumer, when they see that message, they're not reading the fine print. They just think, okay, I'm getting 20% off of Verizon if I switch to T-Mobile. That's what they expect, right? And they're not getting that. So, and even with, as I stated, even with the third line free, 3 lines, I think it's like 180 or 170. You add taxes and fees and everything in that, I mean, you're right back to paying what you would pay on Verizon, right? It's very similar, and the difference just isn't 20%, right? So T-Mobile, it's appealing. It's disappointed in the decision, so we'll see the outcome. But for now, T-Mobile is in trouble again with the National Advertising Division. So to close out the video, T-Mobile is still trying to push being cheaper. Right, they started an entire campaign, the Uncarrier, and it was based on being cheaper, right? Being the competitor that's trying to be disruptive and punch above their weight class. And that's what they're still trying to do, and it really sounds like that's still bringing in tons and tons of traffic just by saying they're 20% cheaper versus the other guys when they're really not. So T-Mobile has to choose, right? They have to choose, right? They want to bring best network, best value, but do you want to still be cheaper in price, right? Pricing leader, if that's what you want to call it, or you want to get rid of that, right? You can't have either or, and that's what the national advertising division, in my opinion, here is exposing. So either you're going to charge what you're going to charge, or you are going to lower your price 20% and be transparent about it. So that's what I have for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.